Hey guys, we are back with some more Edmonton Oilers franchise mode, and in this one, we are going to go into free agency and sign some free agents, as we need 5 NHL level forwards, and we're going to get, we're going to get 4 of them out of free agency, and then 1 from a trade. So we'll start out with the center, Paul Stastny. He is 35, he is 81 overall. I'm just hoping he'll be a good temporary third-line center. So we're going to give him 1 year for 2.85. Should work for him. And then we're going to be going back after Devon Shore. We're going to give him 1 year for 2.25. Because it's not that I didn't want to re-sign Shore. It's just that he didn't want to re-sign with the Oilers, at least not on the re-sign stage. And actually, we'll give him a little bit more. And I really like the way that Devon Shore played for us last year. At least as a depth player, he's definitely, he was kind of over his head whenever he was playing on the second line, but he would be really solid as a fourth line center because he wins faceoffs, he's physical, he had a decent ratio last year, so we're going to be going back after him. And we're also going to be going back after Jujhar Khaira. However, we're going to be playing him on the wing this time because he was not good as a center, at least in terms of faceoffs and all of that. But he was pretty good in terms of physicality. He could get on the score sheet occasionally. And the last forward that we're getting out of free agency, Matt Nieto. He had a pretty decent giveaway to takeaway ratio last year. 43 to 40 in favor of the takeaways. He barely played at all in year number 2, but in year number 3, he had a good amount of hits. He's of course not a face-off taker, but he's good defensively, good physically, had 35 points, so I figured we'll give him a shot as we do need to keep a budget here. So we're going to give him 2.3 for 1 year. And we're also going to be going after Malcolm Subban. So he isn't exactly a starter. He's 83 overall, and we have seen goalies in this game who are not exactly starters that play like elite goaltenders. So for all we know, Subban might actually play like a 93 overall. And last season's stats were promising. He had a 927 save percentage in 25 games played, 13 wins, 2 shutouts. So since we're in need of a starting goaltender to sort of transition into Stuart Skinner, Malcolm Subban seems like the man to do it. So we're going to give him 2.5 for, 1 year. Sounds good to me. Again, all low-risk signings. So if they don't work out, we can just release them when it comes to next year. Or we can trade them at the deadline if we want. We do need a 7th defenseman still, but we're going to wait on that just to make sure that we have enough cap. And the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're making a trade to the San Jose Sharks for Mr. Gustav Nyquist. He was on the block during the draft, and you know what? I figured if we can retain a little bit of his salary, maybe like $1 million of Nyquist's salary, get him at $4 million per year, that would be a really good top 6 forward for us who is on a decent contract, tradable if need be. And my hope for Nyquist is that, once again, he could be a solid top 6 forward for us until Nikita Wisniewski is ready to go. And he is not as of yet. So that's why we're getting Gustav Nyquist. And for this team, every year with McDavid is a year where we need to be competitive. It just is. It's the type of team this is. And I'm not about to throw another season away with the best player in the NHL just to go on a little miniature rebuild that we honestly don't really need because we do have a lot of good pieces in place. We, of course, drafted, what's his name? There's a medium elite that we drafted before this season. Yeah, Saren Heimo. Saren Heimo looks like he is a medium elite. He's got that trade value way up there. So we have a lot of value on this team now. So I really don't think we need to go into another rebuild. We have our first round pick, which I am not trading. last season made me very, we're going to be very, very cautious about trading that first round pick if we trade it. The only situation where I would trade that first round pick is to acquire like a 90 plus overall player. I'm not even talking about an 87 overall player like Tyson Barrie. I'm talking about a legitimate superstar that would help us for years to come. A young superstar that would help us for years to come. So the first round pick is basically off limits this season. We're holding on to that just in case. But what is going the other way is a second round pick from us, not the Chicago Blackhawks. And we're also going to be giving them Caffrey, who is a starter potential goaltender, 49 overall though, and Stasiak and Skinner and Barron are all better than him in terms of overall potential, age-wise, you name it. So we're going to get Caffrey on there. And we're also going to get Shirokov on there. He is a 61 overall, 19 years of age, power forward. The thing for him that made me want to trade him is the puck skills category. That puck skills category is not pretty compared to other forward prospects that we have, such as Sumal and Wisniewski and Suglobov and Osgood. Suglobov is really good. And then Osgood is pretty decent as well. But we're going to be trading Shirokov the other way as well. So Shirokov, Caffrey, and a second for Gustav Nyquist with $1 million of his salary retained. Really, I like this trade for both sides. It frees up a little bit of cap space for San Jose, who might have some trouble with that in the future, given that they have, Carlson now especially locked up long-term, Couture, Burns, Kane, Vlasic, all of them locked up long-term, and I don't think they're going to be able to trade those Burns or Vlasic contracts anytime soon. So unless they retire, then they're pretty much out of luck. So we're going to be taking Gustav Nyquist off their hands for a second, Caffrey and Shirokov. Will it go through? Yes, it will. So once again, I'm hoping that Nyquist will be able to fill a solid top six role until Nikita Wisniewski is ready to go, which at that point, I'm hoping that we'll be able to trade him or that we can just release him. Now, at this point, let's simulate ahead a few days to make sure we got all our free agents, and then after that, we'll get a seventh defenseman, and then we should be good to go. There's Devon Shore, Matt Nieto, Kara is back, Stasny, Subban. There you go. There's all of our free agents. Let's get that seventh defenseman now real quick, and then we shall be off to the start of year number 4, I believe it is now. John's rejected. Okay, so he's gone to Winnipeg, and Schlemko accepted. All right, so we got Schlemko, but I would like one more. I would like a veteran for the right side, so let me just do that real quick. So now we're going to try to go after Mackenzie Weegar. We're just going to give him 1 year for 1.5. He already has an offer from LA. Let's hope that they underoffered him a little bit and that he takes our offer. So Weegar actually decided to go with the Ducks. So, all right, we'll try something else. Sure, why not? We'll go for Eric Gudbranson. 2 years, or 1 year actually, at $1 million. And there it is. Eric Gudbranson has signed with the Edmonton Oilers. Let's get through to the start of year number 4. So let's see the new and improved Edmonton Oilers. As far as the growth goes, so Subban is an 83. Skinner, 81. So he's an official backup goaltender. He will be playing backup this year. We're hoping that he, by next year, can turn into that official starter. Defensively, Barrie, 87. Clefbaum, 85. And DeLarson and Nurse, 84. Byram is an 82 now, so that's, progress. Bouchard, 81. Gudbranson, and Schlemko. Forward-wise, McDavid, 95. Draisaitl and Puljujarvi and Marner, 89. Nuge, 85. Nyquist, 85. Dzingel, 83. Yamamoto and Stasny, 81. So Yamamoto's an official third-line scorer. That's good. We're seeing progress out of him. Nieto, Kara, Shore, all 80s. Now let's check our minor leagues. Ryan McLeod is still a 77. That's brutal. Marody, 76. Cave, 75. Wisniewski's a 74 now. So I'm hoping by next year or maybe the year after, he'll be ready. And that was the idea with Nyquist. So glad we made that trade. So we'll see what happens with Nyquist, obviously. But I think that'll be a pretty good investment to be able to get in the playoffs for the next few years at the least. And hopefully consistently at that point. And as far as goaltenders go, yeah, Wells and Rodrigue. Really no one down there. So we're going to see how our prospects, our unsigned prospects, have grown now. So we'll take a look at the view contracts, and we'll go by unsigned. So Suglobov is a 68. We could probably use some of these prospects there in the AHL, so I'll sign Suglobov. Offer contract to you. Sumal we might be able to sign as well. The minor leagues do need some help defensively, because Gabranson and Schlemko are probably going to be staying on the NHL roster. So it's Jones, Murkov, and then, yeah, we're definitely signing Bufflin. Are we going to sign Rantanen? He's pretty much only a 7th defenseman, 59 overall. I don't think I'll sign Rantanen yet. I want to see maybe another year of him. We'll sign Osgood. We'll sign Fleischer. And we may as well sign Sumal as well. Well, actually, what kind of roster space are we looking at here? Yeah, we can sign Sumal. Definitely. There you go. Alright, so the NHL lines. First line is Nuge, McDavid, Puljujarvi. I'm breaking up McDavid and Marner for the start of the season because I do not want anybody slumping. And if that means separating McDavid and Marner, we gotta do it. Second line, Nyquist, Draisaitl, and Marner. So I'm hoping that Marner, Draisaitl, Nyquist obviously work well together. Unfortunate part is Nyquist's already 32. But as long as we give him sufficient ice time, I think he should be fine during his tenure here. Ryan Dzingel, Stasny, Yamamoto moving up to the third line. And then you have Kara, Shore, Nieto. Defensively, Klefbom and Barry is basically the same as last year. Nurse and Larson, Byram and Bouchard. I'm hoping that Byram and Bouchard learned from last season and that they don't have, minus 30 seasons again. If they do, then we're definitely separating them. But for right now, I want to see if they learned from that experience. And I'm going to give them the confidence to try it again this season. Power play, Nyquist, McDavid, Marner, Nurse, and Bouchard. Keeping Barry separated from that unit because when we put Barry on the second power play unit last year, it seemed to start to click. Nuge, Draisaitl, Puljujarvi, Barry, and Klefbom on the second unit. Then the four-man power play, McDavid, Marner, Nurse, and Bouchard. Draisaitl, Nuge, Barry, and Klefbom. Penalty kill, Draisaitl, Nieto, Klefbom, and Larson. I don't have to say Adam Larson anymore because there's no more Johan Larson. Devon Shore with Dzingel and then Nurse and Barry on the second unit penalty kill. Three-man penalty kill, Draisaitl, Klefbom, and Larson. Then Shore, Nurse, and Barry. 4-on-4, McDavid, Nuge, Klefbom, and Barry. Draisaitl, Marner, Nurse, and Larson. Then Stasny, Puljujarvi, Byram, and Bouchard. 3-on-3, McDavid, Nuge, Barry. Draisaitl, Marner, and Klefbom. And then Stasny, Puljujarvi, and Nurse. Extra attackers, McDavid, Draisaitl. Shootout, McDavid, Marner, Draisaitl, Nyquist, and Barry. Almost said Nuge. And then in goal, you have Malcolm Subban and Stuart Skinner. So two completely different goaltenders from last year. And then scratched our Schlemko, Marody, and Gabranson to start out the season. And we'll check with the AHL lines now, as we did sign quite a few of our prospects. McLeod, Wisniewski, both on the first line. Sumal is on the second line. Osgood, Suglobov, Fleischer on the third line, and then Summers. Is Sheriff his prospect? No, he's not. And then House on the fourth line. Defensively, Jones and Lagesson. And then you have Bufflin and Malik. And then Sarenheimo and Siffers were also signed. So they're playing third pair defensive on the AHL squad. Wisniewski's on the power play. Sumal's on the power play. Let's see, what else? Bufflin and Sarenheimo as the defensive defensemen are on the penalty kill. I believe, Siffers is also on the power play as the offensive defenseman there. Let's see. It's basically all the same lines from there on out. And then in goal is Wells and Rodrigue. Scratched are just a bunch of AHL players who we will never use. So there you go. There's the NHL and AHL squads. Let's get to some simulating. But not before we check the captains and jerseys. Kara, 16. All right, just going to look for new numbers here. Shore's 32. Stasny, 26. Nieto, 83. Nyquist, 15. Gabranson, 45. Schlemko, 8. Skinner, 35. And Subban, 30. And we're also going to assign all the scouts just to make sure that we have a somewhat comprehensive scouting report this year, because we usually don't. So we're going to assign Solani to the Liga. And there you go. That should be our scouts all set out. So now it's up to our scouts to, actually scout. So hopefully we have a more comprehensive scouting report this year than we have in years past, because it's really has not been great, really at all as of yet. So I'm hoping, since we have a lot of A scouts this time, that we'll get some better scouting reports. We're hoping not to pick in the top 10 this year. So we're going to have to really rely on those depth picks to get some stud prospects. All right, so getting underway now with the first month of simulating. We already went through the preseason. Went 5-2 there. Not terrible, but we all know it doesn't matter. So, first win of the regular season in the opener against the Arizona Coyotes. Not the home opener, of course, but the season opener. Here's our home opener. And, of course, we lose that in a shutout loss to the Ottawa Senators. But for the most part, we're looking solid as of right now. But I don't want to say anything too much further, because we all know what happens when I talk. and the nonsense in this game. So we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the month here. All right, so we started out the month really pretty good, actually. Win here, a win here. Loss, a win, a win, a win, and another win, but then loss, win, loss, loss, loss. So, good first half, bad second half. Let's see who's performing here. So, Nuge, no early slump for him, thank goodness. He already has, in 1 month, he has more points than he did in like 3 months last season. So that second line is going. Thank God. All right, now, is the McDavid line going? McDavid has 10 points. Marner has 8. So Marner actually has the least points out of that second line, actually. Because the second line is Draisaitl, Marner, and... Actually, no, Nyquist. Where's Nyquist? Nyquist has 5 points. All right, so that's not terrible. But I would like a little bit more out of Nyquist. So overall, we look like we're pretty good so far, at least offensively, in terms of our top 6. It looks like it's pretty balanced at the moment. Tyson Barrie with 8 assists so far. He's looking like he's paying dividends for this season. Dzingel with 6 goals on the third line. Not too shabby. Klefbom with 6 points. Nieto with 5. Nyquist, Shore with 5. Kara with 4. Stastny with 4. Nurse with 4. Yamamoto with 4. Larson with 2. Byron with 1. Gabranson and Marody and Schlemko have not played. Bouchard with nothing. So the good news is that Byram and Bouchard haven't completely fell apart yet. Given that we're only 12 games into the season. They only have a -1, -2, not anything to be too concerned about. The problem with Bouchard and Byram comes later on in the season, I think. So we really have to keep an eye on these two, make sure their plus-minus doesn't get too out of hand, because they were the only 2 defensemen last year who were minus on this team. And they obviously had significant minuses, like -28, -32, I think was Bouchard. So we got to keep an eye on that pair for sure. But other than that, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far offensively. Let's get to the more defensive stats, like faceoffs, takeaways and giveaways, hits, stuff like that. Draisaitl, Nuge, McDavid, Stastny, all above a 50%. That's what I like to see. Shore is unfortunately at a 41, so maybe we could think about switching that up. But all of our main centers, Stastny, McDavid, and Draisaitl, are above a 50%. Hits, McDavid, Byram, Dzingel, and Draisaitl all above 20 so far in only 12 games. So that's good for Byram. Nurse, Klefbom, Puljujarvi, Nieto, Kara, all up there with over a hit per game as well. Barry's close with 11 in 12 games. And then Adam Larson, Yamamoto with 10, Shore, Marner with 9, and these guys that don't hit. So it appears Nyquist does not hit. That's fine. We got him for offense. Hopefully he can get some more goals as the season goes on. And takeaways to giveaways. Very good for Puljujarvi. Wow. Very good. Insanely good for Tyson Barrie so far. 11-6. Let's go, Barrie. Draisaitl, 9-5. Marner, 9-8. Nyquist, 8-9. Not terrible, but could be better. 7-3 for Stastny. Shore, 6-4. Nuge, 6-6. 6-15 for Klefbom. 5-9 for Larson. 5 to 7 for McDavid. 5 to 7 for McDavid. That's unusual. All right. Well, as long as he's getting offense, I guess. Nieto 4 to 10. That's brutal. Dzingel 4 to 5. Kara 4 to 5. Yamamoto 4 to 5. Nurse 3 to 10. Bouchard 3 to 6. Byram 1 to 8. Fights. Nuge and Clefbaum with fights so far on the season. Goaltenders. Let's see. Subban 902 save percentage. Not the greatest, obviously. Could be doing better, especially in that second half of the previous month. Stuart Skinner, only 3 games so far, 882 save percentage. Not great, obviously, but his career's still young. He's 23 years of age. We'll see what he turns out to be. And hopefully he turns out to be more like a Robin Lehner than a Peter Mrazek, for example. A pretty solid month, but it could have been better, for sure. I mean, we've been saying that, though, pretty much this entire GM mode, so we gotta raise the bar a little bit. Now, we are tied for first in our division for goals for per game, 3.17. No lack of goals for. Goals against per game, been a bit brutal. Second to last in our division, 2.92. That could be a lot better. We were a lot better last season with Leonard, for sure. Power play, 15.2. Again, could be better. We need to improve on that. Penalty kill, 70%. Needs to be better. So, penalty kill, power play, could definitely improve. Special teams in general could improve. We're 5-5 in the last 10. We were really good to start out. And then we had a streak where it pretty much almost nullified that. So, this team still, unfortunately, seems to have some consistency issues, but at least we got the slumps ironed out. With Nuge and Draisaitl, they are producing now, so that's what's important, at least for them. Barry's still producing as well at a very healthy rate, so I'm not concerned about our offense. I mean, obviously, the power play could use some work, but our 5-on-5 scoring seems okay, actually great, since it's well above the 3 goals for per game. We just really need to figure out the defense and the consistency. And I don't think that'll be too big of a challenge, especially if we can manage to get Malcolm Subban going back to where he was last season with that 927 save percentage of his. It's definitely possible that he gets back to that. So I'm going to end it off here. I have a edit to do that I really need to do now. So I'm going to end it off here. Let me know what you guys think of these Edmonton Oilers so far. What changes should we make to the penalty kill? And if any to the power play, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one when we continue year number 4.